What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Blerd Out. And this time, One Piece is back. Yes, the break is over. The hiatus is done. 3 weeks of waiting, and we have our chapters back. Now, in commemoration of One Piece being back, we are starting the second season of Blerd Out. So things are going to be a little bit more fresh, going to change things up a little bit. But hopefully, things will be for the better. Now, on the docket, it's going to be, of course, One Piece talk, and we're going to be talking about some of the new anime of this season and what I'm working on right now. But first, as always, a word from our sponsors. You are now listening to the Blerd Out podcast, which is available on your favorite podcast websites like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Check the link in the description or search Blerd Out wherever you podcast, and you will find greatness. Episodes are also uploaded on my main YouTube channel at Tyrant King Kuma and on the official podcast YouTube channel at Blerd Out Podcast. And naturally, if you haven't caught up to the latest chapters or episodes, please note there will be spoilers ahead.
Oops! Spoilers.
Now, we're still in the pilgrimage of Yamato's cover story, and this time we have Yamato talking with Kinemon about taking a payment for a favor. Now, I'm not entirely sure what this could be for. One of the things that came to mind was Yamato going to visit the graves of some of the ones that passed during the fight in Onigashima. Like, Ashura Doji, Izo. But I'm not sure why he just wouldn't go there himself. I can't imagine he's that busy that he couldn't visit. So I'm not sure what the favor was for, but I'm assuming we're going to see it within the next few cover stories here. Again, I really want to see when this gets to some kind of poneglyph lore, because I feel like it has to be going there. Now, to the chapter itself, it starts off with Gandhi still taking out the last of the pacifistas. And we gotta remember that they aren't really taken out, they're just basically off for a little bit. So what he's doing is he's freezing them, so they're stalling. So at some point, they will wake up again and be a threat. And as he's doing so, he mentions that basically Vegapunk gave Bonnie the power to eradicate nations. And I'm pretty sure this is referring to Vegapunk giving Bonnie the power to control the pacifista, because I don't think he had anything to do with the fruit that she has herself. I don't think he was even involved in that. And I don't see any other reason he would be saying that. So it's definitely the pacifista. The giants are still trying to make their way to the ship. And if we remember from last time, once part of the Straw Hats got to the ship, there were vice admirals raiding there. Now they straight up scrapped. And it might not seem like a big deal because these vice admirals kind of sucked, as most vice admirals do. But Frankie one-shot one of them. And I feel like we gotta look at that a little bit because Frankie doesn't get a lot of shine. Being able to one-shot a vice admiral is nice. Like, he kind of gets sidelined a lot, and again, it's a vice admiral, so it's not a big feat. I mean, even Bonnie takes one out immediately after, but Frankie just never gets the shine like this. So I mean, honestly, to Frankie and Bonnie, that's pretty high. Mars and York are still looking for the transponder cell. They're trying to see where these signals coming from for the broadcast, and they find the room where it was recorded, but they don't find any signal there. So Mars just starts blasting away. Basically, he's done waiting. He's trying to figure out where this is so he can stop it. So his idea is just blow up the entire place. And York basically says that's not a good idea just because everything that's in the building, it would make it explode instantly. Now, I feel like for Mars, that would be fine. He honestly doesn't care about if that building explodes or not. So I find it odd that he didn't just go ahead with that plan regardless of what York said. And instead, he gives York the chance to come up with a solution. And in doing so, York mentions that they don't want to rack up any more sins. Our relationship is already troubled enough. And even Mars is confused by this. So I'm not really sure what she's talking about here. I'm wondering if she's talking about the connection with the OG Vegapunk. Because they're talking about racking up more sins, as in what they've been doing now is messing things up. It's obvious she's not talking about with the Celestial Dragons or with the Gorosei, because she's talking to Mars right now. He doesn't even know what's going on. So it's got to be someone either higher on the tier list. I really don't think she'd be talking about Emu. Or someone we've already seen, which would be Vegapunk. Now, Vegapunk is supposedly dead. I don't know if she knows that, but Just a weird line of dialogue from York. For someone who seems to be, a traitor, why is she trying to keep things from getting worse? And Mars ends up using what I believe to be observation hockey to sense a snail from up above. How he's able to focus in on such a small, life form is insane. They've been highlighting their hockey for a while now, and so I think this is just another highlight to that the Gorosei have some nasty hockey. And so York tells him with the snail, it's a triangular snail instead of the normal, rounded shell. And Mars heads that way instantly. And because he left, Stussy and Kaku are fine. Now remember, Lucci said that he would like Kaku to be saved from the building before basically it's destroyed. And Mars was saying he doesn't know if that's possible. But in getting Mars to leave the building, we actually end up getting Kaku and Stussy saved anyway. And Kaku and Stussy also don't know the forms of the Gorosei, so I'm guessing that basically no one outside of Imu and, at that point, Sabo knew about these forms. Because not even CP0 knows about them. And they're the highest form of the secret intelligence, so it must be a secret. Then again, the admirals might know, because Kizaru wasn't pressed about it. So maybe it's a matter of the admirals, Imu, and Sabo at this point. Now, as they're talking, Stussy mentions that she's going to be staying to carry out a final mission, and that final mission being lowering the barrier so that we can get out of here with the Sunny. Now, will this be the end of Stussy? I don't think so. I think if Kaku has anything to say about it, he's going to try and save her. Because, Kaku's here too. So if there's any threat to Stussy, it's going to be a threat to Kaku, which means he's going to have to face it. So it's either going to be Kaku or it's going to be Kaku and Rob Lucci saving Stussy. I don't think they're going to let her die here. And we flip back to the Straw Hats. They've pretty much taken out the threat because the Sunny's fine now. Everyone's getting ready to go. We flip back to the Straw Hats that are at the Sunny, and they're pretty much getting everything set up to launch off. We have coup de burst. Usopp's got everything ready to launch. And actually, I really like this because, I don't know, I feel like sometimes there are moments where Usopp would normally be afraid to do something. And instead, he's just gung-ho about it. Like he's saying he finished loading up coup de burst, and that basically he's going to launch off, and we'll have to figure it out as we go. Now, the old Usopp would never just fly off a cliff and just hope that things work out. But this Usopp's like, yeah, we'll fly off. We'll figure it out. We got it. And I just like that because I don't think we get enough glimpses of Usopp being actually functional and useful. Now, Edison decides that he's going to make sure the ship reaches the ocean no matter what. Don't know how it's going to work, but I think this might be the end of Edison. One, he gets a little message that says projected damage is 78%. So I'm assuming by the time this is over, he will be at 100%. Otherwise, why would we get that little notification? So I think he might be joining the list of Vegapunks that aren't making it off Egghead. And back to the mainland with some of the other Gorosei, Luffy, Dory, Broggy. So Jupiter, the sandworm, is basically sucking everything in, causing a vortex. So pretty much drawing everything on the island in and keeping Dory and Broggy from running away. And in a very short and quick solution, Luffy just throws a building in his mouth, and that stops that instantly. So per usual, Jupiter is pretty useless. Saturn also being kind of useless. If you're not Gandhi or Mars, you're not putting in work. I'm just gonna be honest. The rest of them are just here. And at this point, Luffy finally deflates. And I've been wondering how long it's gonna take for a while now. He did a lot in this time with Gear 5. He's been Gear 5 for a minute, and he's just now running out of energy. And he immediately asks for food, to which Dory and Broggy just have food on him. And so Luffy's already, I'm not gonna say he's back to 100, but he's already back to his base form. And it's just in time because Mercury comes charging, and Luffy hits him with a Gear 3rd attack, which you don't see that often anymore. He hits him with Red Rock, which is what he hit Kaido with initially. That was kind of how we started the rooftop fight, was Red Rock. But here, it literally just doinks off his skull and does nothing. In fact, Luffy hurts his hand trying to do it. Now, just think about that for a second. We haven't seen Luffy have like a hockey clash where he lost, like blatantly in a minute. So the fact that Red Rock, which is supposed to be basically a Rio version of Luffy's hockey, didn't do anything. And in fact, Luffy got hurt by that. So again, the Gorosei have disgusting hockey. And I say hockey here because they say that, or Luffy says that he has hard skin. I think if it was just a matter of hard skin, it would be the same thing as Kaido, where Red Rock would be the best move to use. And I feel like them using Red Rock here to specify means that it's not just his skin, but it's probably hockey. Because if it could damage Kaido, I don't see a problem with it. Maybe not even damaging the Gorosei, but clashing with the Gorosei. For Luffy to be hurting, it has to be more than just his skin is hard. It has to be hockey. Otherwise, he wouldn't even feel the pain. So at this point, we start bouncing around to the other groups. So like we bounce back to the Sunny, and we got Usopp and Nami facing off against Saturn, who's pulling up. Now, they don't see him yet, but we know basically what those legs mean. And then we go to the Elbaf ship, where Bonnie, Frankie are, and we have Gandhi there. Gandhi took out the giants that were bringing them up. And honestly, this panel of Gandhi looks so cold. I think he's still the favorite. Like, of all the Gorosei, he looks the cleanest. Every panel. And I mean, he's the only one in his like hybrid form. I don't know why everyone else is like so completely transformed. He's getting work done in his hybrid. I guess having a horse head doesn't really do anything. You know what? That makes more sense. Him being a horse just kind of wastes time and space because he can't like wield a sword and everything. But basically, he's standing in front of Bonnie and Frankie, and he's like, I ain't going nowhere. Now this is a problem. I don't see them getting past Gandhi without some kind of assistance from probably Dorian Bragi. Otherwise, they're not getting past him. And finally, Mars finds the transponder snail. Now, based on the snail itself, it doesn't absolutely look triangular. Like the shell, it's kind of stacked to where it looks more like a pyramid, but it doesn't seem like the triangle that York was talking about. Even so, Mars seems pretty confident that basically they stop it in time. So he's probably going to try and take out this snail, and I'm assuming it's not going to stop the broadcast. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's no way it stops the broadcast, because that would just defeat the entire purpose of what we've been waiting for. So the snail's a red herring. We're probably going to see it being broadcast from somewhere else. We still have the original Vegapunk body with the antenna. So it's entirely possible that it's connected to that, and the snail has nothing to do with it. I also like the idea of Vegapunk inventing a nest network, where he has multiple snails connected to a nest, and so taking out this one doesn't stop the entire broadcast because there's a bunch of them. But we'll have to see. I thought we were going to be on break this week, but I don't see it at the end of this page. I wonder if Jump itself will be on break. But that's the chapter. As always, it feels good to be back in the world of One Piece. And we came back swinging. Like I said, not all of the Gorosei are putting in work here. Clearly Gandhi is, clearly Mars is. We might see some redemption from Saturn. I don't think we will. Jupiter is just useless. And I mean, Mercury's trying. So I mean, they're trying to do some stuff here. It's not going to work out for them, but they're trying. Kizaru's still not back up. The Vice Admirals got wiped. Pacifista are down. It's a mess. It is a mess. I feel like one more party is going to show up. And we know Blackbeard's crew is here somewhere. But I'm wondering if since they got Saturn with Katarina, if they just dipped. 'Cause I know they left then. I'm wondering if there's any other reason for them to be here, or if they're gone. Because if not them, there's got to be another party that shows up here. I don't think the Giants can pull it off themselves. Because right now we really just have Dory and Broggy that are probably going to be trying to carry the team. And I don't think they're beating all the Gorosei. You know, they might be able to hold one or two back, but if everybody teams up, we're going to have a problem. But now that we're back on a regular schedule, I am waiting for the next chapter. I need it. Need it in my veins. But moving on to anime. What have I been watching since the new season started? Actually, I'm a bit behind as usual. I watched Windbreaker because I saw that was getting, some hype. And I watched Mysterious Disappearances because that seemed like an interesting series. It's not the normal shonen, not normal battle manga, it's not normal romance. It's kind of like a mystery thriller. So I'm going to see how that plays out. So far, the first episode was cool. The first episode of Windbreaker was also cool. I'm probably going to watch a few more episodes, see if I get into it. But most of my time has been going to Apothecary Diaries. And this was a big one from last season, but I was caught up with like a bunch of other anime and just other things, so I didn't have the time to watch it. So I'm catching up now, and I'm enjoying it. I'm on like episode 20, so I'm almost done with this season, and it's been great so far. And Apothecary was like one of the top anime. Like you had Frieren, you had Dangers, you had Apothecary Diaries. And so I watched 2 of those and never got around to getting to Apothecary. So I'm getting done now, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. I like the idea of the mystery and the drama more than I like the idea of romance between Mamo and Jinji. I honestly don't care for the romance all too much. I would rather it just be a straight, like, detective mystery type story. But I guess you got to sprinkle it in there somewhere. But I think it's worthy of being one of the more popular anime of that season. I like the idea of we're just getting pieces of lore as we go. Some being mysteries to solve and some just being lore drops. I think that's an interesting way to handle the story itself. Because we're seeing things in 2 different perspectives. Things that Mamo doesn't know, things that Mamo does know. And even the things she does know, we're not inherently given. We kind of got to piece some of those things together ourselves. It's an anime where you sit after each episode and you kind of think about it for a little bit. You're like, okay, where can I put these pieces to the puzzle at? Which is nice. I like needing to think a little bit. And I mean, on the docket to watch, I do want to catch Spice and Wolf, because I read Spice and Wolf probably like the first 4 or 5 volumes. So I wanna watch this. I know this is the remake, so I want to catch that. I want to catch Kaiju number 8. I want to catch the 3rd season of Konosuba. Gotta watch that. I also want to watch the Irregular Magic High School. I didn't even know that was in the 3rd season. Misfit Demon King Academy. I also got to catch that. I honestly don't remember if I watched part 1 of season 2. I'm that behind on that. I mean, that's mainly for... Oh, Slime. Duh, Slime. Gotta watch Slime. So, I mean, I have my work cut out for me this season as well. And I still have some stuff from last season I want to watch. I gotta watch Delicious and Dungeon still. And that's, I think, 24 episodes. The new My Hero, Again, they're trying to reel me in with Mirko. And it's kind of working, it's kind of not. We'll see. I still haven't watched Jobless from last season. Man, I'm behind. Man, I am behind. But we will catch up eventually. Because I also started playing Persona, so that's going to cut in some time. I finally finished Final Fantasy, so I got Persona going. And I'm only like probably an hour in. I'm still doing all the intro tutorial stuff, but still having a good time, as I do with Persona. I'm excited to see where this story progresses to. I mean, I liked Persona 5 so much that I played so many times, but I never played any of the other ones prior to it, so I'm kind of going backwards in my Persona journey. I had Persona 4 on my PSP, but I never actually started it. I just grabbed it and then just never played it. So I might honestly dig that out at some point and play it too. And I also spotted this new game from Atlas and Vanillaware that's called Unicorn Overlord. And if you've never played like any of the Atlas Vanillaware games, they are basically like 2D, beautifully illustrated games. If you've ever played Dragon's Crown, if you've ever played Odin Sphere, they're the same people who made those. And so this game has caught my eye. And I'm expecting to get it here at some point, probably after I finish Persona, because I really enjoy their games. Their art's amazing, the gameplay is amazing, the story's amazing. I really enjoy their games. I will be hopping into that as well. And that kind of wraps it up for this episode. Like I said, we're making some changes here. I've updated some stuff. I updated like my avatar. I updated some of the art just for the channel itself. I want to do more stuff to promote the channel. I also have like a trailer video I made for it that I'm going to put on the main channel. Just some cosmetic stuff, some quality of life stuff, make things better. But I will catch y'all on the next one. Bye.